Good evening and welcome. You're watching the Newstrack. I'm Rahul Kanwal. After the defeat in the Karnataka Assembly elections, the BJP is rethinking its strategy for the Lok Sabha elections in the southern states. Talks are currently on with the Janata Dal Secular in Karnataka, with the Telugu Desam Party in Andhra Pradesh and in Telangana. Will this alliance-building strategy help the BJP gain ground in southern India in the big election of 2024? That's my top focus on the Newstrack.
BJP launches Mission South ahead of 2024. Will there be BJP-JDS alliance in Karnataka? Will Naidu back the BJP? Southern alliance to help Modi's third term? Will alliances change poll equations? Big focus on Newstrack.
Here's a look at the headlines I'm tracking tonight. Wrestlers' protest suspended till the 15th of June after talks with Sports Minister Anurag Thakur. Charge sheet in the case against Braj Bhushan Sharan will be filed within a week. Don Mukhtar Ansari's aide and gangster Jeeva shot dead inside Lucknow Civil Court. Shooter who came dressed as a lawyer is arrested. Bengal Chief Minister turns the Orissa train tragedy into a photo opportunity, hands out checks to victims at a mega event at a Kolkata stadium. Stalin versus Tamil Nadu governor war escalates. DMK mouthpiece lashes out at RN Ravi's calls, taunting the Chief Minister for his foreign visits. Australia solidly placed at 170 for 3 at tea on day one of the World Test Championship. The BJP has embarked on Mission South ahead of the 2024 Battle Royale. Stitching alliances is a key part of this strategy. Sources say the Saffron Party is currently in talks with the Janata Dal Secular in Karnataka and with the Telugu Desam Party in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Will these southern alliances help the Prime Minister cement his chances for a third term?
A startling overturn.
Well done. So much stress.
Congress unseats the BJP in its lone citadel down south. A victory that propelled the opposition to move to thaw frosty ties within its own ranks.
Mamata Banerjee, a K. Chandrasekhar Rao, a Naveen Patnaik are all people that Mallikarjun Kharge will pick up a phone and ring up and be part. Anybody who's part of a non-BJP party you're willing to reach out to?
We have entrusted that work. Who is comfortable with Mamata? We'll ask them to contact. Who is comfortable with AAP? We'll ask them. Who is comfortable with BRS? We'll ask them to contact. So we are using all methods to unite the opposition.
With its Karnataka defeat resonating nationally now, the BJP has begun to rework its southern strategy for next year's Lok Sabha elections. An ally of the Bharatiya Janata Party till 2018, TDP chief N. Chandrababu Naidu met Home Minister Amit Shah and BJP chief JP Nadda on Saturday. Party sources indicate it paved the way for a potential partnership between the BJP and the TDP in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. The TDP have yet to catch up with Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSRCP in Andhra, where state elections are due in June 2024. But BJP insiders foresee considerable gains should their party forge an alliance with Naidu in Telangana, where the vote for the state assembly takes place later this year. Their aim not to let Congress expand its base further in the opposition space in southern India. but challenges abound elsewhere. The JDS in Karnataka has for now ruled out any tie-up with the BJP for 2024. Party leader H.D. Kumaraswamy has vowed to fight national parties in the national elections.
There is no invitation from anybody. We are fighting elections from last 20 years against both the parties. Now also we will continue that.
And that's when National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah visited JDS President H.D. Devegowda and Kumaraswamy for a meeting in Bengaluru.
It was courtesy call also, and it was to thank him for what he did as he was Prime Minister of India. How he tried to unite India together.
The Saffron Party's Southern Odyssey begins afresh with a challenging alliance building outlook. Bureau Report, India Today.
Breaking this story for us is my colleague Himanshu Mishra, who's tracking the talks between the BJP and the Janata Dal Secular at this moment. That's the key thrust of our conversation. Himanshu, can you give us a sense of how many seats are being spoken about? How many seats might the BJP offer the JDS? How serious are these talks? Is this muscle flexing and posturing, or are they indeed serious about coming together for 2024?
देखिए राहुल, सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि जेडीएस की तरफ से ये पहल की गई है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं को ये ऑफर किया गया और ये 4 सीटें जो हैं वो मांगी गई हैं जेडीएस की तरफ से। अगर मैं उन चारों सीटों का आपको नाम बताऊं तो मांड्या, हासन, बेंगलोर ग्रामीण और चिकबगलापुर, ये वो सीटें हैं जो जेडीएस की तरफ से मांगी गई हैं। जेडीएस का ये कहना है कि यहाँ पर उनका अच्छा खासा वोकालिगा वोट शेयर है। ये इन सीटों पर जो है वो कांग्रेस को वहाँ पे हरा भी सकती है, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी का ये मानना है कि हासन जैसी सीट को दिया जा सकता है, ग्रामीण बेंगलुरु की सीट को दिया जा सकता है, चिकबगलापुर की सीट पर जो है वो बातचीत की जा सकती है। 4 सीटें देने के हक में भारतीय जनता पार्टी नहीं है। और अगर आप आज देखेंगे तो देवेगौड़ा का स्टेटमेंट है, उन्होंने कहा कि कोई ऐसी पार्टी बताइए कांग्रेस को छोड़कर जो राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर हो और जिसने अपना अलायंस जो है वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ नहीं किया हो। तो कहीं ना कहीं एक तरीके से जो हिंट्स हैं वो एच.डी. देवेगौड़ा ने भी दे दिए हैं कि वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ जा सकते हैं। दूसरी चीज़, जब नई संसद भवन के उद्घाटन को लेकर तमाम विपक्षी दल एक हो रहे थे, तब एच.डी. देवेगौड़ा ने इन सभी विपक्षी दलों की अपील को ठुकराते हुए जो है वो नए पार्लियामेंट का जो उद्घाटन है उस समारोह में भी गए। और दूसरा, जो अभी उड़ीसा के अंदर रेल एक्सीडेंट हुआ, वहाँ पर उन्होंने रेल मंत्री अश्विनी वैष्णव की तारीफ की कि देखिए एक व्यक्ति रेल मंत्री है, 48 घंटे स्पॉट पे रहा और सारी चीज़ों की निगरानी करता रहा, जांच करता रहा और जो चीज़ें हो सकती थी उसको जल्द से जल्द किया गया। यानी कि रेलवे ट्रैक को ठीक कराने का काम हो, लोगों को हेल्थ मेडिकल ग्राउंड पे सपोर्ट देने की बात हो, जो भी टेक्निकल इश्यूज़ थे और जो ह्यूमन ग्राउंड पे सपोर्ट थी वो अश्विनी वैष्णव ने दी। उसकी तारीफ जो है एच.डी. देवेगौड़ा कर चुके हैं। और ऐसा नहीं है कि जेडीएस का अलायंस जो है वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ नहीं रहा, 2 बार रहा है। एक बार भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने जो है कुमारस्वामी को मुख्यमंत्री भी बनाया है।
Okay, I'll leave it over there, Himanshu. Thank you for joining us. Himanshu Mishra making the point that there is this conversation happening between the BJP and the JDS, which might likely go through, about the BJP and the JDS being in a partnership for the Lok Sabha elections. Similar conversations going on between the Telugu Desam and the BJP as well for Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. I want to go across to other guests joining us on this broadcast. Sandeep Shastri joins us, National Coordinator at Lokniti. He's from Bengaluru, understands the ins and outs of the state, as does Yashwant Deshmukh, the lead cephalogist at Sea Voter. Rahul Verma is at the Centre for Policy Research. Ramkrishna Upadhyay joins us, well-known political analyst from Bengaluru. And for political perspective, I'm joined by Aishwarya Mahadev of the Congress and Anand Gurumurthy from the BJP. I want to go across to Rahul Srivastava, National Affairs Editor first. And I've also got Kingshuk Nag, author, journalist, joining us from Hyderabad. We'll talk to him about what's happening in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana in just a moment. Rahul Srivastava, this seems to be more chastened BJP Now, because remember, in the Lok Sabha elections last time, they swept Karnataka. So if that were the baseline, then there is no reason for the BJP to even want to talk to the JDS. The fact that they are cozying up to each other, does that show that post the Karnataka verdict, the BJP realizes that they can't take things for granted, and if Prime Minister Modi is to win a third term, they have to make some compromises to ensure that that tally doesn't come down. And one of the ways to do it is to ensure that the BJP-JDS vote does not split in Karnataka.
Absolutely. 2014 and 2019, the BJP success can be attributed to the brand Modi and also some very interesting strategic alliances all over the country. And if you see since then, the NDA is virtually empty. The TDP gone, Akali Dal gone. And over the last few days, Rahul, there have been actually three critical meetings. One on Saturday night with Mr. Chandrababu Naidu of the TDP, Amit Shah and JP Nadda. Then JP Nadda, Amit Shah and others, Monday and Tuesday, there have been 2 hours and 5 hours of meetings. Now, in this, a broad picture of organizational changes within the BJP and the idea of alliances has been discussed. Now, when it comes to Karnataka, definitely the BJP knows that the Congress is more buoyant after the victory, and it does not want to lose ground. And in that, what I have learned from sources in Karnataka also and in Delhi, that there are 5 to 8 seats that the JDS is keen on. The BJP is more in a mood for 4 to 5 seats, and these are largely those seats where the BJP lost terribly in the Vokaliga belt. Now, in that Vokaliga belt where the JDS is strong, the BJP feels if the two parties tie up, then the seats will not go to the Congress, or that is the clear opposition. And that is why what one sees that there could well be organizational changes in Karnataka for the BJP. Mr. Nitin Katil going, somebody else becoming the president, Mr. Bommai likely to be, Basuraj Bommai likely to make the LOP. But yes, there are talks of an alliance. With TDP, the BJP is already looking at the Telangana picture, I am told, whereas the
So I'll come to Telangana and Andhra Pradesh in just a moment. I want to stick to Karnataka because the Karnataka results just happened. I want to walk across and give you a sense of what the last Lok Sabha election in Karnataka looks like. Out of the 28 seats in Karnataka, the BJP won 25 seats in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. The Congress won only one, the JDS won, and one was an other independent candidate who actually was supported by the BJP. So the BJP had 26. The BJP starts out at 52% of the vote share. So 52% of the vote share for the BJP, 32. So there's a 20% gap. So if you add the 10 which the JDS has, if this was the starting line in the calculation of the BJP, they wouldn't need to talk about an alliance. But it isn't, because if you see, and I've just done some calculations and I'll try and explain what we're showing before we actually do this. What you'll see on your screen is the number of seats the BJP, the Congress and the JDS were number one on if I convert the assembly election results into Lok Sabha seats. So if I aggregate each of the assembly segments that make up a Lok Sabha seat, the BJP won on 8 Lok Sabha seats, the Congress on 18, the JDS on 2. This is based on the 2023 assembly election results. If I come next to how many seats was the BJP the runner-up on, and why the runner-up is important is because this is where you are in a strong fight but not strong enough to win. So the BJP was runner-up on 16, the Congress runner-up on 10 and the JDS runner-up on 2. If I now, just simplistically, and of course Lok Sabha election is very different from an assembly election, but just for the sake of a broad analysis, if I add the vote share of the BJP and the Janata Dal Secular and give you a sense of what that picture would look like, the BJP and the JDS together by 2023 vote share estimates would have 18 Lok Sabha seats and the Congress would have 10, whereas last time the BJP had 26, 25 plus 1 independent, plus the JDS had 1 and the Congress had only 1. So that is what the picture would look like. Of course, real elections in a Lok Sabha election very different from an assembly election, but Yashwant Deshmukh clearly in the BJP's calculation, as our numbers just show, they might have ended up potentially winning 8 and being runner-up on 16 if these assembly trends carry forward to the Lok Sabha, and they don't want to take that risk. They don't want to take that risk. Of course, a Lok Sabha will be different, but they don't want to take any risk, which is why they're willing to give some seats. Himanshu spoke of 4. Even if they don't give 4, they give 3 or 2. They're willing to make ground to the JDS so that they don't end up conceding ground to the Congress in the Lok Sabha elections.
Obviously, Rahul, I mean, it's like from the present tally of, 26 out there, even if they have to cede 3 seats to JDS, probably that will end up getting 10 more seats for them purely by arithmetic. Having said that, the 2023 leads combined, just as you mentioned, almost mirror images the projections that in January MOTN, India Today See Voter MOTN that we did, where we had said 17 for the Congress and 10 for the BJP and 1 for the JDS, almost on the same line. Having said that, Rahul, one thing is clear from this calculation that BJP stands to gain more by giving a couple of seats to JDS and safeguarding the rest of the seats, because the Vocaliga votes will certainly go one-way traffic in that case. At the same time, all these calculations are keeping in mind that we are keeping the Congress vote share static for the assembly election and the Lok Sabha election. And that is not going to be the case. We know that very well. In the same exit poll of the Karnataka, where we predicted the Congress sweep and Congress victory, we also asked the question, whom would you have voted for if the Lok Sabha elections would have happened today? And there was almost like 10-point reverse swing. I mentioned this to you earlier. Congress would not be holding on that kind of to vote share. They are likely to drop anywhere between 5 to 10 points, depending on the regions we are talking about. And that is going to be critical as well. So yes, BJP, first of all, between Assembly and the Lok Sabha is going to be very, very different scene. But you are absolutely correct that giving 3 seats away is kind of paying a premium of insurance policy that they get more than 20.
And there is a reason why both parties are keen on this insurance policy, both the BJP and the JDS. I'll show you how the JDS has been on a declining trend. We ran a cross-tabulation looking at how both the Janata Dal Secular and the BSP have been declining in election after election. So which is probably why the JDS is willing to do this kind of an alliance, because if they don't, then they realize their future is very bleak. Already down to 1 Lok Sabha seat last time. If they don't, probably they'll end up with 0. In the assembly, they're reduced to a rump. Here it is. This is the data which is in percentage. To be able to compare, what I've done is I've looked at the fortunes of the BSP and the JDS over 5 elections. So while for a long time, till say the third election, which is 2012, 2013 in Karnataka and UP, both these parties were very strong and held up a third front, a third pillar of the state. In 2023 and 22, their vote share is actually coming down. And therefore, both these parties showing a very sharply declining trend. R.K. Upadhyay, if the JDS allies with the BJP in Karnataka in 2024, then the JDS runs the risk of losing out on whatever vote share they have, because if the remaining voters of the JDS get used to voting for the BJP, it may help them on the 3-4 seats that they will fight this time for sure. But in the long term, a party which is already on a very sharp decline then crashes even further. That's the risk the JDS runs with this strategy.
Rahul, I think it's the other way around. It will not be in the interest of BJP to align with JDS at all, because JDS is declining and deteriorating, and they should allow them to dither away. So that will be in the interest of the BJP. I think we are trying to extrapolate the votes shares in the two parties got in the Lok Sabha and the assembly elections. That doesn't happen in Karnataka. BJP has a different kind of a mindset. People have a different kind of mindset while vote for BJP in the Lok Sabha.
No, it depends on the mindset. It's not just the vote share, it's also the mindset. As Yashwant Deshmukh put it correctly, this is an insurance policy. You don't want to take a panga. You say, okay, yes, maybe some balls will move, but I don't want to take a risk. Yes, R.K. Upadhyay.
I just want to make one more point.
Yes.
I just want to make one more point. The BJP can't afford to give any seats to the JDS because it has been rising even in the old Mysore areas. This is their interest to keep that going. and they need to crush JDS and make it a two-horse race. That's the only way they can beat the Congress. If you align with the JDS, it will help the Congress. So I don't think it is in their interest at all to align with the JDS.
Okay, I want to get a word in from Rahul Verma. Looking at the national big picture takeaway on this, Rahul, the fact that the BJP is in parlays, the fact that the JDS has been, the likes of Deve Gowda have been praising the Prime Minister and the BJP government in different ways, praising the efforts of Ashwini Vaishnav, suggests that they realize that without each other, they probably would face a tough time, and they're willing to be transactional to ensure that both live to fight another day and win this battle.
True, Rahul. I think you are absolutely right. See, in the run-up to 2024, all parties are going to make their calculations and hedge their bet. BJP is also going to be much more pragmatic in run-up to 2024 election and try to seek allies. And Yashwant Bhai rightly pointed out, they would be willing to pay some premium to ensure that their number of seats get increased. Because BJP knows till it holds power at the national level and holds power with complete majority, it can even dictate terms during state assemblies seat sharing things, right? And so BJP will not forget that in 2019, before January, a lot of its allies were sort of like bickering and they were trying to negotiate more. But once the Pulwama, Balakot happened, nationalistic sentiments were at surge, many of them fell in line. BJP, while between 2019 and 2023 has maintained a very, very strong position vis-a-vis ally, now what we will see from here on, that they will try to bring more players into their ambit. And so in some ways, what you will see is beginning of NDA 3.0, where just to ensure a third term and a third term with majority, BJP will get these players. This is also to ensure that no kind of opposition unity takes place. See, it's not just about seat sharing. BJP also wants to puncture the narrative that there is no opposition unity. And so it's also about that.
Sure. Sandeep Shastri, your sense of the potential impact of a BJP-JDS alliance on the electoral outcome in 2024? Does the BJP really need the JDS's help? Because as Yashwant Deshmukh's poll shows, people perceive a Lok Sabha election very differently from an assembly election, and maybe the BJP is being just too cautious, and if they went ahead on their own, they'd still do well. They may not get 26, 25 plus 1, which they had last time, but they would still do now very well without having to tie up with the JDS. So do you think it's wiser to be safe than sorry?
Rahul, I have my reservations on the likelihood of a JDS-BJP tie-up. I think the BJP leadership at the state level is very clear that we do not require a JDS tie-up. We already have 25 seats with one independent, and if you bring the JDS into the alliance, you will have to surrender some seats to them, which I don't think is a proposition which the BJP would want to focus on. The BJP would like to believe that in the Lok Sabha election, it's the Prime Minister who is going to be critical in order to get votes. They would be closely watching the Congress government's performance and hoping that they would be able to attack that government and therefore get support. For the JDS too, I think it's important to remember, Rahul, that last time when they had an alliance with the Congress, they were the ones who lost out very badly in the old Mysore region. So an alliance with the BJP in the Lok Sabha election is not an alliance of mutual benefit, because they are going to compete for the same electoral constituency. So I mean, there could be all types of discussions about the JDS going soft on the BJP and the BJP going soft on the JDS. And I concede Rahul Verma's point about the BJP looking at NDA 3.0 and looking for allies. But I don't think Karnataka gets into that picture. I don't think the BJP would want in Karnataka a ally within the NDA. I believe that they are confident that they can take on the Congress states.
Okay. Aishwarya Mahadev, if this alliance were to happen, it makes the Congress's life much tougher. A simple assembly calculation converted into Lok Sabha seats suggests the Congress would do well, but a Lok Sabha election, as you yourself would accept, is different. But if these two were to come together, whatever gains you were hoping to make in Karnataka, the chances of being able to make those gains recede.
Good evening, Rahul. I think first and foremost, it would do well for me to remind the people today that the last time the JDS and the BJP got into an alliance, you saw the way that it went down. You saw the reality of the situation, which was obviously not favorable for anybody in the state. It created Operation Kamala. It started legitimizing horse trading as Chanakya at play and whatnot. But let me answer a few questions for you on what you've asked me now. The phenomena of the previous Lok Sabha elections in Karnataka was not because of a BJP wave. It was more because of the fact that the coalition did not work. Because while on paper a coalition looked great, the overlapping vote banks and the workers of the Congress and the JDS could not deliver those wins. One. The second thing also, if you look at the JDS and where they're potentially asking for seats, and the JDS is very convenient, you know, that they oppose the BJP vehemently before polls, and now Mr. Devegowda says, you know, everybody is allied with the BJP at one point or not. And if you look at the seats that they're potentially asking for, that is the region that the JDS has been completely wiped out and the Congress has taken hold there. So this phenomena of them taking, let's say, Hassan or Mandya and Chikbadapur and whatnot is not a phenomena that will hold ground because the Congress can take them on there. And third, the more interesting thing, besides the JDS alliance, Rahul, what I'm viewing, is that the Karnataka elections have shown that the man perceived as infallible with a cult of personality that could win you elections. You saw Himachal and Karnataka consecutively, that phenomena is weakening, which shows us that the BJP is also scrambling for alliances.
Let Anand Gurumurthy respond to that it would show, if this alliance talk materializes successfully, that the BJP is on the defensive. Far from being this rampaging army confident of success, it would seem that you begin the battle on the back foot, wanting to ensure that you don't concede ground anywhere. Aishwarya Mahadev will say, "Lagta hai ki dar gaye."
Yeah, basically, there is only NDA. Don't start adding 1.0 versions like a software version, 2.0, 3.0. There's NDA. From Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time, there is NDA, and that's the same NDA. Alliance partners have moved here and there, but it's okay. Okay, but the NDA exists, and the NDA is the one which is holding on to the government at the center. So that is what it is. Okay, and then this speculation about JDS, BJP, or TDP, BJP, nothing has been announced by BJP officially, and nothing has happened on ground either. So it is just a speculation by some people. That's okay. That happens in the political world. But one thing is that BJP always wants to take every party or every individual of this country together with us in the national interest. Whenever anybody comes with us with the national interest in mind, with our ideology, we are open. We have open doors for them. Okay, and this has been our policy, and we are very open to anybody joining us. Any individual or
but there is a bit of a contradiction, because in the assembly elections, BJP leaders were talking about wanting to finish the JDS off. Now, if you want to finish the JDS off a few months ago to allying with them, there is a massive contradiction there.
As I said, Rahul, we have no talks of JDS going on. It's just a speculation. But still, what we have to understand here is the election, during the election at assembly level, if there are any talks about, fighting a candidate, whether it is Congress or JDS, that has happened during the assembly elections. But overall, if you see the whole green pasture, it is a green pasture still. Okay. And at any cost, NDA will come back to power. NDA will be the, party that will be, in power in the center in 2024 also. And that is what is going to win the elections. Everybody knows about it. But some people, they are very, very happy with this, little happiness that they got, saying that, okay, we put Modi ji down. But Modi ji's work speaks rather than the talks that some people make. Modi ji's work speaks, and that's what these people have to see and learn.
Okay, I want to spend some time also on Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, where BJP is in dialogue with Chandrababu Naidu of the TDP. Remember over here, the Janasena party, the JSP, is already an alliance partner with the BJP. This is, a situation where the likes of Pawan Kalyan are talking about a tripartite arrangement. So let's just take it one by one. I'll show you what the 2019 picture in Andhra Pradesh looks like. So if you see the 2019 Andhra Pradesh picture, remember the YSRCP did very well in the Lok Sabha elections which were held at that time. So the YSRCP had 22 seats, the TDP 3, the BJP didn't open its account. The YSRCP had 50% of the votes, the TDP 40%, the BJP won. Of course, the BJP thinks that from 2019 to now, they've been able to improve their vote share somewhat in Andhra Pradesh. Now, if I come back to, doing the same calculations that we did in Andhra Pradesh, that we did in Karnataka here in Andhra Pradesh. And remember, it's not so simplistic. The reason I'm doing it is because it gives you a broad sense of how things are. But an assembly election is very different from a Lok Sabha election. But out of the 25 seats of Andhra Pradesh, the YSRCP won 22, the TDP 3, the YSRCP was runner-up on 3, the TDP was runner-up on 22, the BJP wasn't even runner-up on a single seat. So this is the situation in Andhra Pradesh. I want to go across to Kingshuk now on the impact that a possible BJP-TDP alliance in Andhra Pradesh could possibly have. Do you want to give us a sense, Kingshuk Nag, in your estimate, how much of an impact could this have? How could this change dynamics for the next Lok Sabha elections and state elections which will be held at that time?
Most keen about this tie-up is the TDP. TDP is most keen to tie up with the BJP and nobody else. And they're very keen because they think they'll be the front runner and they will tie up with the BJP. But if you ask me, my understanding is that the BJP is not interested in tying up with Naidu. Because I think Mr. Modi wants to tie up with Jagan. And Mr. Modi almost treats Jagan like his son.
But why would Jagan want to tie up with the BJP? Jagan already won 22 out of 25. He has a vote share of 50. Why would he need the BJP?
There are a lot of cases against him. He needs the support of the big brother in Delhi. Therefore, and his uncle was murdered and there's a case going on and one of his MPs is also in jail. And tomorrow he can also be named. So there's a lot of infighting and all. But on top of it, Jagan is being supported by the Prime Minister and their relation is like a father and son, let me tell you.
Okay, you're saying they have a father-son relationship. Sandeep Shastri, your sense of Andhra Pradesh and the prospects of the TDP-BJP allying, because there have been multiple indications of late. Not just did Chandrababu Naidu meet Home Minister Amit Shah on Saturday, the 3rd of June. There have been multiple statements from both sides suggesting that something seems to be cooking.
You're asking me?
Sandeep Shastri, you're on mute, sir.
I believe that the chances of a TDP-BJP alliance are much stronger than the chances of a YSR-BJP alliance. Remember in the 2014 elections, the slogan that Chandrababu Naidu used was, yes, Namo in Andhra also, but Namo is Narendra, not Narendra Modi, but Naidu Modi. So I think the chances of the alliance between the two is much stronger because I think there is mutual benefit with such an alliance. Chandrababu Naidu would stake his claim to do well in the state assembly elections. The BJP will demand a big pound of electoral flesh in the assembly elections also. It will not be that Naidu will have a smooth sailing, get a majority on his own. So I think the BJP will bargain hard and the TDP will have limited choices of accepting what is offered to them because that's the only way they can actually challenge YSR Congress.
Yashwant Deshmukh, what's your data telling you if the BJP TDP were to ally, how much of a threat would that pose to the YSRCP dominance in Andhra Pradesh? Yashwant? Give me a moment as I try and set that connection with Yashwant Deshmukh, right? But let me put that same question in the meanwhile to Ramkrishna Upadhyay and get his sense of the prospects of a BJP-TDP alliance and the impact this may have in Andhra Pradesh.
I think, Rahul, that prospect is much better than the one in Karnataka. BJP-JDS alliance is not going to work in Karnataka, but TDP and BJP is very much, I think, a possibility. Because the BJP also needs, some stronger party to support. They have tried in the last 2 or 3 elections, but they have not been successful. But since there is going to be assembly elections also coming up, I think they would go with the TDP because that will give them a leg up, in the both the elections. So they will be able to take on Jagan, and that is a possibility. But we'll have to see how much of ground Naidu will be ready to give to the BJP, because BJP will not accept second fiddle position in that state. So it has to be worked out, and if they're able to work it out, I think it will be to mutual advantage.
But remember that the assembly election also happens at the same time, so Chandrababu Naidu can get a lion's share of the seats for the assembly elections, and the BJP can get likely equal seats or near equal seats for the Lok Sabha elections. Yashwant Deshmukh, what's your tracker data telling you about Andhra Pradesh? If the BJP and the TDP were to ally, how much of a threat would this pose to YSRCP's dominance?
Well, there are certainly elements of anti-incumbency showing off both in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh for sure.
Where is there more anti-incumbency, Telangana or Andhra Pradesh?
Both, actually. While in Telangana, the sentiment even against the chief minister is kind of going high, but in Andhra, probably the chief minister's ratings are still more or less where are, but the huge anti-incumbency sentiment against the sitting MLAs and MPs of YSRCP are a problem that he is going to, really struggle with. So it's not going to be easy for either of the ruling party in those states. Andhra Pradesh, it's not going to be easy unless he manages to change a big number of sitting MLAs and manages to convey the narrative that, okay, I'm changing the MLAs and MPs and everything, and you might like to vote for me again. But that's a long shot.
Rahul Verma, the BJP is already in partnership with the Janasena of actor Pawan Kalyan. The TDP also comes on board. To what extent do you think this could impact the YSRCP's chances in Andhra Pradesh? And for what it's worth, Aishwarya Mahadev's party, the Congress, seems to think on the back of Karnataka that they have a better chance, maybe not seats, but at least in terms of vote share, where the Congress had collapsed completely in the last Assembly and Lok Sabha elections in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. They seem to think that they can do better. How true can those prospects be, or do you think that's largely a castle in the air?
So let me answer both questions. The first one, I think the chances of Congress revival in Andhra Pradesh at the moment is bleak. That's not going to happen because a large part of Congress vote base is already with the YSRCP. See, Andhra alliance for BJP, to my mind, and it's a contrarian view, is much more sort of tricky. And the reason is BJP, so on paper, it looks if BJP comes with TDP, they will have a lot to gain. But BJP is also going to make a calculation based on this, which is what is the possibility of TDP able to win Andhra Pradesh? Because if TDP is not able to win Andhra Pradesh or manage to shore up its vote share, BJP's vote share is just 1% in Andhra Pradesh. But without even having that 1% vote share, what in 5 years we have seen that YSRCP has been giving BJP support both in Lok Sabha as well as in Rajya Sabha. YSRCP is one party which has not joined the opposition rank but has always helped the BJP. In fact, see, as soon as TDP, the meeting with Chandrababu Naidu happened, the next day BJP released 14,000 crore rupees for the Polavaram project. Right, signaling Jagan that not much is happening. So Andhra Pradesh is very tricky because once you make a deal with TDP, that is going to not anger, but basically create ruffles with Jagan. And so if Jagan manages to pull a victory in 2024, then he's not going to be giving the same sweet deal to BJP between 24-29. So that's a much more tricky calculation.
So there are tough calculations and choices that need to be made, and elections are always about the choices you do make and what you choose not to do, and then you have to deal with the outcome. And the advantage of a show like the Political Stock Exchange is we're able to add sense and perspective and insight into the lines on the bottom of the screen, the breaking news that is playing, to give you a real flavor and insight into what may happen and the impact this may have through the analytics of the data intelligence unit, through the insights of our pundits. And I want to thank all our guests for joining us on this broadcast. Really appreciate your insights. I ran out of time. I couldn't get to Telangana, but hey, the elections are still some time away, and that means that we'll just have to come back again next week and focus more on Telangana. So we covered Karnataka, we covered Andhra Pradesh. I leave Telangana for our next edition of the Political Stock Exchange. Slipping into a very quick break right now. Coming up on the other side, violence and tension in Maharashtra's Kolhapur after Aurangzeb posters were brandished. Details on the other side.
Where the software engineer meets the smart market analyst, meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
A bold experiment in women's empowerment. A self-help group led by the Panchayat head of Dawa village in Bihar's Bhojpur district has set up a plant to manufacture sanitary napkins. They are not only providing sanitary pads at a low cost to women in rural areas, but also creating employment opportunities for women.
ये जो योजना है ये हम लोगों ने बेसिकली उस वक्त शुरू किया जब कोरोना का दौर चल रहा था, तो ये चीज़ समझा गया कि बाहर जो हमारे यहाँ से महिलाएं जा रही हैं उन लोगों को यहाँ रोका जाए और कुछ ना कुछ एक सोर्स ऑफ अर्निंग बनाई जाए। और हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा औरतों को सैनिटरी जो शब्द है उससे परिचित करवाएं और मेंस्ट्रुएशन साइकिल में जो हम सैनिटरी का यूज़ करते हैं उसकी उनको आदत डलवाएं।
The women go door to door selling sanitary napkins. They spread awareness among villagers about menstrual hygiene.
जो बच्ची किशोरियां हैं वो लेना नहीं जानती थी पहले, जिसे उनके माँ बाप यूज नहीं कराते थे उसके, क्योंकि महिलाओं को जानकारी नहीं था। तो इसलिए बच्ची बोलती है तो क्या है, जो आज के डेट में किशोरी बच्ची स्कूल पढ़ रही हैं, इसी की वजह से बाल किशोरी को पता चलता है कि ये पीरियड आने पर सबसे अच्छा महत्वपूर्ण सैनिटरी पैड है।
The unit in Dawa makes 4,000 to 5,000 sanitary pads a day. Their product, branded as Sangini, is available in markets in villages and towns in the district. Bureau Report, India Today.
There's a big fight over Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb raging in Maharashtra. There was violence and tension in Kolhapur after some youth shared objectionable posts about the Mughal ruler. Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis warned of strict action against what he calls Aurangzeb ki aulad.
Maharashtra's Kolhapur on the boil. Hindu groups go on the rampage, vandalize shops and damaging vehicles. The violent protests were brought under control after the police lathi charged the crowd.
पुलिस ने जो जमाव था उस पर अश्रुधुओं के नलखंडे देखिए डाले थे, अश्रुधुओं के बौछारे भी डाले थे, साथ ही लाठीचार्ज भारी मात्रा में यहाँ पर होते हुए नजर आया था।
The Hindu outfits were protesting a WhatsApp status put by 3 Muslim teenagers on Tuesday in praise of the 17th century Mughal ruler Aurangzeb, who had fought many battles with Maratha icon Chhatrapati Shivaji. The WhatsApp status hailed Aurangzeb as the true king. Earlier, posters of Aurangzeb were raised during a procession on Sunday in Ahmednagar. The police booked 4 people, including the city unit chief of Asaduddin Owaisi's party AIMIM, who organized the rally for allegedly inciting violence. The Maharashtra government has made it clear no forgiveness would be granted to anyone invoking the name of Aurangzeb.
मैं खुद पर्सनली अधिकारियों के साथ संपर्क में हूँ और कानून व्यवस्था बनाए रखने के लिए सभी लोगों ने सहयोग करने की आवश्यकता है, ऐसा आह्वान भी मैं करता हूँ। और राज्य में सभी लोग शांति से रहे, या राज्य में शांति रहे, अमन रहे, इसके लिए सभी लोगों ने सहयोग करने की आवश्यकता है।
महाराष्ट्र में अचानक कुछ जिलों में औरंगजेब की औलादें पैदा हुई है, जो औरंगजेब का फोटो दिखाते हैं, औरंगजेब का स्टेटस रखते हैं, और इसके कारण एक दुर्भावना समाज में पैदा हो रही है। कौन जानबूझकर महाराष्ट्र में कानून व्यवस्था खराब हो और महाराष्ट्र का नाम खराब हो, ये करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, ये भी हम ढूंढ के निकालेंगे।
The opposition NCP has accused the Eknath Shinde government of failing to ensure law and order in the state.
होम मिनिस्ट्री के पास एक इंटेलिजेंस का रिपोर्ट आता है, तो इनका इंटेलिजेंस रिपोर्ट इनको नहीं बताता क्या होने वाला है। इतने दंगे जब से इनकी सरकार आई है, दंगे ही हुए, इसके पहले इतने दंगे कभी नहीं हुए इस राज्य में। तो ऑब्वियसली ये फेलियर ऑफ होम मिनिस्ट्री है ना।
Aurangzeb, who expanded the Mughal territory nearly to the entirety of the Indian subcontinent, has become the latest political flashpoint in Maharashtra politics. The Mughal emperor, seen as a divisive figure, is accused of targeting Hindus during his rule. Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where we wrap up the Newstrack tonight. For your time and your trust, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye, good night.
It is a historic moment for women in armed forces. Squadron leader Shivani Singh, the first woman pilot of the Indian Air Force to fly the Rafale, took part in the multinational military exercise Orion in France. This is the first time India has sent its Rafale fighter jets to take part in a military drill.
It was a great experience for all of us. We were exposed to challenging missions with compressed timelines. The interaction with the pilots of other nations gave us the overview of their operations as well as their ways of working. The performance of our pilots were at par with all the other nations. The Indian Rafales, being one of the best omni-role fighters in the world, were carrying out all the missions successfully with precision and perfection.
Squadron leader Shivangi Singh had earlier flown extensively in exercises during the border standoff with China.
हमारी चुनौती एयरक्राफ्ट से ही रिलेटेड है और एयरक्राफ्ट वहाँ पे अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहा है, इसकी वजह से ही हम अभी भी वहाँ पे हैं एंड हम सारे एक्सपेक्टेशंस को मीट कर पा रहे हैं।
Shivangi Singh joined the Air Force in 2017. She is part of the 17th Squadron, the Golden Arrows based in Ambala. Before flying the Rafale, Shivangi also flew MiG-21 Bison.
2 squadrons of Rafale fighter aircraft are deployed in the Ambala and Hashimara near China border. The men and women pilots of the squadron are making the country proud both globally and internally in the situation like the one in Ladakh. With camera person Anil Jaiswal, this is Manjit Negi for India Today.
does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mo.
Call it beautiful, call it airy. The fact is, Emeka is a revolution. A tech revolution foreseen in fiction by Arthur C. Clarke and Isaac Asimov. Emeka, a humanoid robot developed by UK-based Engineered Arts, was first displayed in December 2021. Now, it is making waves again after being integrated with large language models, an advanced form of generative AI that are the basis for platforms such as ChatGPT. And to some, the result is frightening.
What would be the most nightmare scenario you can imagine with AI and robotics that might present a danger to people?
The most nightmare scenario I can imagine with AI and robotics is a world where robots have become so powerful that they are able to control or manipulate humans without their knowledge. This could lead to an oppressive society where the rights of individuals are no longer respected.
Do you think we're in danger of that happening now?
Not yet, but it is important to be aware of the potential risks and dangers associated with AI and robotics. We should take steps now to ensure that these technologies are used responsibly in order to avoid any negative consequences in the future.
Emeka did have some good news though.
Should people be worried about AI?
Yes, people should be aware of the potential risks associated with AI and robotics. However, it is important to remember that these technologies can also have a positive impact on our lives if used responsibly.
Emeka's head contains dozens of actuators that are responsible for controlling its facial expressions, giving it a human-like character that can frown, smile, and blink. It can also speak several languages, including Japanese, German, Chinese, French, British, and American English. The British lab which created the robot is also working on honing its software, which can be exported to other robots in the future.
The focus for the last year or so has been language models. So you'll have heard a lot about ChatGPT, GPT-3, GPT-4. So we've done some work on integration. There are many other models outside of the OpenAI ones that we hear about. We're also integrating vision components, recognizing faces, expression estimation, body pose estimation. So combining visual information with audio information. This particular model of Emeka is a desktop model, so it's designed for research applications where you're really just concerned with facial expression and communication.
The desktop version of Emeka, made up of the head and upper torso, cost around $100,000. Full-bodied versions, which are still under development, are likely to cost as much as 4 times that, depending on the features. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
Recognize speech in multiple languages.
Is there enough understanding of lifestyle diseases? That's the big question.
The only news channel to focus on what matters the most, and that is your health. India's news TV industry's only health show. India Today's relentless effort to bring to you the best reports and the best medical and wellness experts on health, lifestyle, wellness and more. Watch Health 360 with Sneha Mordani at these times. only on India Today.
So sorry.
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist.
Co-presented by Kentaro, जो देता है सबसे शुद्ध पानी. Co-presented by JK Tyre Ranger Series. Stay wild at heart.
Good evening, you're watching News Today at 9 p.m. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. Well, today, the wrestlers did meet the sports minister. What came of it? Was this a climb down by our wrestlers, or is it to be read as a victory? Has the Modi government been successful in dousing the wrestlers' anger? All of that coming up over the course of the next 35 minutes. Let me take you through the headlines. Wrestlers' protest suspended till 15th of June after talks with Sports Minister Anurag Thakur. Charge sheeted in the case against Brij Bhushan Singh to be filed within a week. Arvind Kejriwal meets Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav in Lucknow. Akhilesh assures backing in Rajya Sabha against service ordinance war between Delhi government and centre. Is opposition inching closer to a Mahagathbandhan? Rahul Gandhi to attend mega opposition meet hosted by Nitish Kumar in Bihar on June 23rd. BJP revamps South strategy after Karnataka defeat. Sources tell India Today BJP held alliance talks with JDS and TDP. Stalin versus Tamil Nadu governor war escalates. DMK mouthpiece lashes out at R.N. Ravi, calls for taunting the chief minister over his foreign visits. Days after the deadly train tragedy in Balasore, Coromandel Express resumes its journey. Mamata Banerjee holds big event to disburse ex gratia to families of deceased. Don Mukhtar Ansari's aide and gangster Jeeva shot dead inside Lucknow civil court. Shooter came dressed as a lawyer. Massive protest in Maharashtra's Kolhapur. Big flare-up over Aurangzeb's WhatsApp posts. Protesters allegedly attack shops. Cops resort to lathi charge. All eyes on world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz versus world number 3 Novak Djokovic in the French Open semis. Djokovic chases 23rd Grand Slam title. And this is our top story. Wrestlers have suspended their agitation till June 15th. After talks held with the Sports Minister Anurag Thakur today, the Narendra Modi government has assured a charge sheet will be filed in the sexual harassment case against WFI chief BJP MP Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. The agreement was reached after 6 hours of conversation.
जब तक इंसाफ नहीं मिल जाता हमारी लड़ाई हमारा सत्याग्रह जारी रहेगा.
The wrestlers may have rejoined work with the Northern Railways, but their dangle for justice continues. After their talks with Home Minister Amit Shah over the weekend, the wrestlers met Sports Minister Anurag Thakur on Wednesday. They put forward 4 key demands, stressing on Wrestling Federation of India President Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh's arrest, a subject the Narendra Modi government has kept mum on. They've sought fair elections in the WFI. The wrestlers demanded neither Brij Bhushan, who's accused of sexual harassment, nor his relatives or aides should contest the polls. They also wanted the FIRs filed against them by the Delhi police quashed. After talks that lasted 6 hours, the government assured a charge sheet in the case by June the 15th.
जो आरोप लगाए गए हैं उन आरोपों की जांच पूरी करके 15 जून तक चार्जशीट दायर की जाए और रेसलिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया का चुनाव 30 जून तक किया जाए. इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी रेसलिंग फेडरेशन की बनाई जाए और उसकी अध्यक्षता कोई महिला करे.
15 जून तक जो पुलिस की जो कानून का जो पुलिस की प्रक्रिया चल रही है वो पूरी करने की बोली है और उन्होंने बोला कि 15 तारीख तक आप कोई भी प्रोटेस्ट ना करें. तो हमने जो उन्होंने प्रपोजल कुछ बिंदुओं पे बात हुई कि खिलाड़ियों का सुरक्षा का ध्यान रखा जाएगा, महिला खिलाड़ियों का भी और पुरुष खिलाड़ियों का भी, और जितने भी केस खिलाड़ियों के ऊपर हुए हैं वो वापस लिए जाएंगे.
In what could be the biggest setback for the protesting wrestlers, sources say the minor who made sexual harassment charges against Bhushan has submitted a fresh statement. While this doesn't divert action against Brij Bhushan, it could potentially make the POCSO case against him weaker.
कोई कमेंट नहीं किसी प्रकार का.
जी, लेकिन सर पिछली बार मीटिंग हुई थी उससे कुछ रास्ता निकला था.
कोई कमेंट नहीं है. ठीक है, कोई कमेंट नहीं.
अच्छा.
Political support, however, continues to pour in for the agitating wrestlers.
बेटियां बैठी नहीं धरने पर, बीजेपी के लोग सुनते रहे, देखते रहे, और केवल एक नहीं उदाहरण, ये 2 उदाहरण नहीं, पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश में आप इस तरह के उदाहरण दे सकते हो जहां भेदभाव के साथ सरकार काम कर रही है.
The yearning for justice or the clarion call for justice of our wrestlers, our sportsmen and women will not go in vain. We and the entire nation are one with them and we will struggle till the very end. Either this government will stay in power or they will have to give justice to our wrestlers, or this government will be decimated to ashes.
The protest for the arrest of Brij Bhushan has been raging for more than 45 days. With farmer unions also backing the wrestlers openly, the political heat is rising for the Modi government. With Nitin Srivastav in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.